Yulia Parkhomenko, you are the director in the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to generate a lot of interest with our audience, mainly because you're from Ukraine and everybody is following what's going on in Ukraine very carefully. And you should know that I know that, speaking for the whole world, our hearts and minds go out to you in Ukraine and what's going on there. We feel terribly about it. But what also is amazing is that you continue to move forward with your work and your mission, as do many of the Ukrainians in whatever jobs they hold. And I'm curious to first learn, what is it that the Ministry of Digital Transformation does in Ukraine? What's their mission?
I want to mention that our ministry created 3 years ago. It's like a young ministry in our country, and we are creating a digital economy, and we developed it and create new projects and helps our country to move on, and new technologies, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, CBDCs, visual assets, and to other any projects. Our ministry has a huge team, and we continue to work in Ukraine. Our team in Ukraine, but somebody in Kyiv, somebody in another cities, where it's like very hard without electricity.
Yeah.
So we try to find the places with generators or power banks that helps us to be in touch and continue our work.
So electricity is an ongoing problem. We see that in the news, especially, I'm in the United States, and we see a lot of that news coverage where it seems like the power grid gets rebuilt by somebody, and then a day later it gets bombed, and then it has to be rebuilt. And then it just seems like an endless cycle. It must be very difficult.
Absolutely, yes, because more than half our critical infrastructure is ruined. And we now electricity more than 20 hours per day all over the country. And after each bomb, it's like worse and worse. So it's really hard situation now.
I can't imagine those circumstances. It just must be terribly difficult to get any work done. I don't think I could actually work having that going on around me, but somehow it seems like the Ukrainians are just a very, very resilient people and just get about their business. Going back to the Ministry of Digital Transformation, what's an example of a project that needed some form of transformation, where like the old way of doing it was needed to be updated, and you're going through the process of digitally transforming that process right now?
The whole work of our ministry, it's like new technology. We help all ministries, all governments in our country to transform everything in their work. For example, we have like a CDTO. It's in each ministry, which helps to create everything like in digital. Not paper. Maybe you heard that our president told that our purpose now paperless in our country. So you can use everything just by your phone. You can just have a list at to hospital and the other. Also, we have an app. For example, it's Dia app. It's like a super new technology would help us not to bring our documents with us, even driving license, passports, vaccinate certificate. Every document we have only in one app. We can show, scan QR code, and everywhere it's valid.
So that's amazing. So what you're basically doing is the whole country is going paperless. You mentioned one thing that you're doing, which is you're helping the other ministries. You're sort of a consultancy to the other ministries in helping them to digitally transform, to take processes that are based in paper or some other form, and move it to complete digital means, but also not just digital, but mobile. It sounds like everything is all about the mobile phone. And that is extremely advanced for a country to be doing. I mean, I would argue that the United States and a lot of other advanced nations around the world are way behind. It sounds like you're actually ahead of the curve when it comes to doing these sorts of things. It sounds like there's actually a mandate from somewhere to get these things done, and that by itself is the thing that's missing in a lot of other countries. Does that mandate come from the top, from like President Zelensky, and who came up with this idea to like just get the whole country digitally transformed?
Our president, of course.
Yes. Okay.
The main purpose of before the war and during the war also, we made all our country like digital. Every person can do everything by his phone. That's all.
That's amazing. So you're helping with digital transformation. There's a lot of technologies involved in digital transformation, but I'm here with Blockchain Journal, and I'm interested to hear what is the role that blockchain plays in some of these projects that you're working on?
For example, last year in June, we joined a European blockchain partnership, like as observer. And now we're creating, by the way, in September, we're creating like a working group in our ministry with civil servants, with blockchain technology specialists from international and Ukrainian companies. And now we're creating an entire concept of using blockchain technology in the government, like in registers and other services, which helps us to show people and the government why it's so useful to change centralized technologies to decentralized technologies.
Okay, so is there a specific project where that idea of moving from a centralized regime to more of something decentralized is making a difference? Where are some examples of that?
No, for example, the main purpose of this concept is to show what the difference is that we already used in our registers and what were their advantages when we will use blockchain technology.
Okay.
It's easy, it's transparent, it's clear, and it helps us to be transparent for everyone.
So the transparency is
really
big, especially with government. There's a lot of opportunity for government organizations to be transparent with the people of their country. And so blockchain...
Yes, and we believe that blockchain will help us to be more transparent.
Yeah. Well, it's surprising how transparent you have been over the last couple of years. I mean, you guys are sharing everything. It's amazing. And a lot of us are paying very close attention. CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, is something that I think you are involved with. So can you tell us a little bit about what Ukraine is doing with CBDCs?
Of course, together with National Bank of Ukraine, now we are preparing like a concept of implementing a CBDC in our country. And like a roadmap in 2024, we will create our own national pilot project. And of course, the National Bank of Ukraine is the main player in this role, of course, but our ministry helps with expertise, with even study. We study there, not only from the National Bank and from the other governments, what is this CBDC and what is technology can do for us. So together I hope and I believe in it that we will create like a big and huge concept and create a good pilot project will help us to integrate CBDC in our country.
So you'll have a digital version of your fiat currency, of the country's fiat currency, and go ahead.
We are working on to create like just a concept. We have now like a digital currency now, because we just preparing the technical equipment, and that's all that will help us to create a pilot project.
Okay. Do you think that the pilot project will be based on blockchain, or will it be some other digital currency technology?
We discuss on it, so it's we don't know yet.
Undecided.
Yeah, so we didn't decide. We didn't decide yet, but I hope so. That yes.
Okay. A lot of the CBDC discussion gets to whether or not it would be on a public blockchain or a private one. I think a lot of national banks have they're not comfortable putting something like that on a public blockchain.
Of course.
Is that where your mind is at? Are you thinking more of a privately permissioned blockchain?
We have not decided yet, really. We just discuss it because it's it's like difficult to use. For example, a private, it's like okay for a bank. It's like a private, blockchain. But if it's public, we just discuss this.
Well, 2024 is right around the corner. We're already in 2023.
Yeah.
And it's going. There are plenty of other countries that are behind on that schedule too. So you guys are really moving quickly, especially given all of the stress you're under from a war. I mean, it's just amazing to see that how you move forward. I heard you mentioning to another person here how it is you got from Kyiv. You're in Kyiv, is that right?
Yeah.
How you got from Kyiv to Davos. This will be interesting to people because we often wonder how you get around, how you get in and out of the country safely. So how did you get here? If you can share that.
It's a really long trip. I driven by my car to Austria, to Vienna, and then I had flight to Zurich, and then I have 5 trains to get here.
Yes, a bunch of trains to Zurich.
Yeah, so it's like a long trip, and it took a long time to cross the border because it's not so big here, but it takes more than 2 or 3 hours to stand by the border. Yeah.
Is it a safe journey?
Yes, it's safe. It's much safer than at the beginning of the war.
Well, we have a picture in our mind of just everywhere, like. I would say I have an image in my mind of various parts of Ukraine just being randomly bombed, and so it seems to me like anybody at any time.
We continue to drive when it's alarm. It's really dangerous, and thanks God everything's fine. We are going because we have a purpose to get here.
Yes.
So it's our main purpose. We should come here. And talk about it, and talk about Ukraine, and tell about the whole situation in Ukraine. So we are going. So we have no choice.
How do you have the presence of mind to just continue with your work with all of this going on around you?
Meditation. Meditation helps me.
Well, I think meditation can help a lot of people.
It's a truth, yeah.
Well, we pray for your safety, and we'll certainly be keeping an eye on how the Ministry of Digital Transformation continues with its mission. It seems very exciting, and it seems like you're moving very quickly. So, Yulia Parkhomenko, thank you very much for joining us here on Blockchain Journal.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you so much.
Have a great rest of the week here at Davos.
Thank you. I'm excited about it.